Yeah. When you're an actual sovereign citizen, the way I see it, you don't pander or kiss the ass of anybody's pronouns. You say to them, who the fuck do you think you are that I'm supposed to take any of my personal life to coddle you? Fuck you and fuck your pronouns. Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video, and this, another episode of, where I, what do you call it, dispute the, what, I'm laughing when I'm saying this, what Wikipedia says the proper definition of sovereign citizen is, and this one today I'm talking about, with me, as far as I'm concerned, there should be another title attached to it to separate yourself from that definition, which is really designed to demonize people who don't follow the trends and follow people's pronouns and all that and a list of other shit. Oh, I decided to edit this clip in and say this because I should say this in this video too, which is the truth about straight couples here in this. And I think this is funny. No matter who you are, you should laugh your ass off at this, because I am. I remember, and this is talking about a straight couple, like my mother and my stepdad. And you want to talk about pronouns, where my mother would be bitching about something, and, oh, when you gonna clean the basement, do this or that, clean the basement, and then he didn't like her nagging him, right? So he says, yes, ma'am. Oh, and she would get pissed, so pissed. And I look at that back and laugh my ass off. And hey, if you're somebody else that disagrees with me on shit, come on now, you gotta have straight parents, straight couple parents that may have did similar shit like that made you laugh. I mean, I'd like to hear about it. But yes, when I think about subjects like this, I look back at my mother and stepdad and laugh, and I remember that. Yeah, being nagged and yes, ma'am. Oh, and they'd get mad, you know, all that other happy horse shit. And this one, this episode is just that, which, yeah, excuse me for my speaking here and trying not to laugh, because once again I'm talking about stuff that actually makes me laugh. And to remind you one thing, yes, this video is about why keeping your personal sovereignty is more important than addressing or using anybody's pronouns. Yeah, that's in there. And that is also why I redefine, or define, if you will, being a sovereign citizen. That definition, unlike the Wikipedia definition, to me it symbolizes having your own sense of self-esteem and self-respect, and having no regard for anybody else's bullshit just because it's trending and they want to demonize you for it, to intimidate you into it, for whatever. And my answer to this thing here, you know, you can't have a personal sense of self-esteem and a personal sense of sovereignty if you're required to respect anybody's pronouns. If you want to identify as whatever, yeah, more power to you. You go ahead and do that. But the only thing I'm required, like I said too, don't do anything against you that's against the law, like commit aggravated assault. Anything beyond that, I don't have to give a flying rat's ass. I don't have to give a fraction of a shit. And if I have to address you by pronouns, I'm not saying you can't be what you want to be, you know. I'm basically saying if I have to address you with any of these special labels or pronouns, then I just don't want to be around you. I don't need to be around you. Matter of fact, I'm not required to, just because it's trendy, pursue people like you to be around you. And even if you were in the same room, say in some kind of political interview or something, or for some reason, which I don't have to be anyway, but if I was, all I would do, I wouldn't really address you by the pronoun you don't want to be addressed. As a matter of fact, I would just avoid using pronouns altogether. Matter of fact, I can talk to a person like that, which I know thinks that they're entitled, whoever thinks that they're entitled to being addressed by these pronouns, and being aware that they want to be addressed by these pronouns, right? And talk to them without using any pronouns at all. I mean, hell, I went for years really with speaking to my own mother, whatever things, whether at the supper table, and asking a question went for years without addressing her as mom, without saying, hey mom, or whatever, or I worked in warehouse in different places, and to a certain extent I was able to look at somebody, ask somebody a question, and very seldom call them out by their actual name. Well, especially when they're in front of me, but if you were, and that applies to people who don't force you to address them by your pronouns. But however, I am capable of whatever name you have. Say if you reject your birth name and you're some dude that was named Bill and wants to be named Judy, and I have known you as that, I could address you by that name. Oh, I can do that in a sarcastic tone even. Well, shit, even people that identify as their own biological gender, we do that and address people by their names sarcastically, with a sarcastic tone. We do that shit all the time to each other. Yet you want to have a mental breakdown and fit and run to the government and force people to address you somewhere. Just because somebody addresses you by your name, whether it's your proper name, or if I am capable to a certain extent of addressing you by a pronoun that you want to be addressed by, if I do it with a sarcastic tone and a sarcastic look on my face. Yeah, I'm capable of doing that. Yeah, very capable of doing that. I can address you by your pronouns and say it with a sarcastic tone, and in some cases I can sarcastically go like this, like, yes master, like I'm bowing to you, or just because you're a dude and want to identify as a chick, at your choice, but am I fucking required to address you as princess? And even if you want to wear a dress and a tiara on your head, my point is, well, okay, you're free to wear a prom dress. If you're a dude, if it makes you happy, you can wear a prom dress and a tiara. We're wearing an Air Jordan on one foot and a high heel on the other foot. It's going to make you walk funny, and I might look at you kind of funny, but that's your life. But am I required to take any part of my personal life to coddle you just because it's trending, and then I have to worry about being chastised by a bunch of people that if I don't take any minimum time out of my personal life to coddle you because it's trending? If that's the case, then maybe I should be around a different crowd of people. It would be obviously, even without the gender bullshit going on, before that was ever going on, it was a scenario where, okay, you're a clique and you think you're it. You think that there's no other place another social crowd to go. That's called thinking you're it, or thinking the world revolves around you. And even without that gender culture bullshit, we had that when we were in high school too. We had groups of people thinking they're it. And, oh, you're not one of them. They hate you with a passion for other stupid things, just like at my age. But at my age now, I know that, hey, when my hair was long and not as gray as it is now, oh, you didn't get a haircut. Somebody wanted to be, yeah, you want to have a beard, hair, and a haircut, you know, with all that other shit put aside, you know what I mean? Okay, we had the heavy metal area, you're the tough guy heavy metal, you know what I mean, long hair and beards, and then you had the glam metal, which everybody accused of being gay. They're wearing makeup and shit like that. They're accused of wanting to be another gender, and some of them did look very feminine. The glam rock, the simps, listen to that, but only we didn't call them simps back then. You'd have the tough guy heavy metal listening people, right, and then you'd have the dudes you went to school with. They're trying to imitate, they're being a simp and trying to get girls. And yeah, I'm talking about straight people there, but you know, but yeah, the simps were under scrutiny there. But back in my younger days, we didn't call them simps. We didn't use the word simp. They were known under other names. But you know, to have relevance, this having relevance to everything I'm talking about, it's not jumping subject. It's, yeah, you can be in that culture pandering to the transgender or gender identity culture and be a simp, simping up to that. Or you could be a social social chameleon. You're one way to these other people, another way to these other people, or you can be accused of that while being polite, trying not to cause any trouble, like I said too. But yeah, you gotta laugh at this shit, you know what I mean? There's a difference between persecuting somebody doing shit against the law and then just refusing to simp up to them or whatever. I mean, but in the eyes of some of these people, they don't want you to have your own sense of self-esteem and self-respect. Even if you announce that you don't persecute them or want to do anything violent toward them, they still regard you as or label you as somebody that would be potentially violent. And they would say that in one respect too, hoping it would shame you and intimidate you into pandering to their side. And when people do that stuff, they think they're it. There's nowhere else to go, and when they know there are other cliques you can just go to, oh, they regard those other cliques as evil, fascist, cult-like, Hitler-like. I mean, when they have the audacity to try to shame another whole other clique, a whole other culture, and shame a whole other crowd, that's the height of thinking you're it, and the height of thinking the world revolves around you. And if you have your own sense of self-respect, self-esteem, and sense of sovereignty, they'll turn it around on you, flip it on you, and try to say, oh, you think the whole world revolves around you, and gaslight you. That's what narcissists do. And if somebody is so hell-bent on having that attitude, then you can say, all right, and if you think somebody doesn't pander to you, and you think everybody that doesn't pander to you is out to get you, then I can say it's a mental illness and gender dysphoria mixed with schizophrenia. But I only do that if, I'm willing to be polite, whatever floats your boat, don't do any, I'm required to just not do anything against the law, like commit aggravated assault. But then what do you do when these people try to belittle and gaslight and harass groups of peaceful people? They're the ones that are the haters. That's what they say. The intolerant left, the intolerant, the intolerant tolerant people, and then you also got the violent pacifists. They're all grouped together because they all claim that they're non-violent and everybody else is violent but them, and everybody else is intolerant but them, and everybody else is a pacifist but them. Everybody's violent but them. But yet, if you don't follow them, they even speak openly that violent things should happen to you, whether they should have control of the government and have you arrested, thrown in a cage, or somebody marching in the streets in a mob should have power higher than the police, and they should be able to be in mobs, be able to do whatever violent to you. The things they accuse the police of, but their people were allowed to do. I mean, these kind of people know right away. They know damn well they're doing it too, and they say it real smugly, even on YouTube and clips of TikTok. These YouTubers saying it on, even admitting to it on TikTok. Yeah, the kind of people you're not allowed to use the videos out of to critique the video, yet they come right out and admit it in the video. You know what I mean? Being violent towards the ones that don't pander to them, the ones whom they don't like, is completely okay. But yet they can say somebody's proud of their biological gender and they want to keep their own personal self-esteem. Oh yeah, that's violence, even though you believe in obeying the law and not committing aggravated assault. Yeah, and these are the violent pacifists that claim that are not violent, and the one accused of everybody else of being violent. I mean, and they who also want you to just put your head down, lay down and take it for a common good, and not dispute any of their shit. Don't be no tough guy. Don't walk around with your nose in the air or hit your head high and just snub it. Yeah, don't be no tough guy or anything. Yeah, no, that's potentially violence, because that tells them that if they think that they're going to get somebody to physically enforce it, which they never do or will, and they ever want to. That's why they accuse you of being violent. See, they know you're not going to be violent, and they're not going to put their hands on you. In their own minds, they practically, well, not just in their own minds, they practically want to admit it. They want to get government and enforcing class, to enforce their shit, you know. They're pissed because your attitude is your own attitude, your own self-esteem and personal sovereignty. And they're pissed because nobody's coming to enforce it. There is no enforcing class yet. You know, nobody went communist yet. Yeah. No enforcing class. They know there's nobody coming to do anything about your attitude. I mean, they're free to have their own attitude if they want, you know, but you know, that's what the true mentally ill narcissists do. If they can't psychologically intimidate you or politically or intellectually dogpile you, like the whole gangs of, you know, groups in a clique will intimidate people, like group bullying back in school in the halls, you know. And yeah, the height of narcissism and control is when they want the government to educate you under some innuendo or threat of force or threat of being canceled. And when you rebel against that, that's what being a real sovereign citizen needs to be. Yeah, that's a fact, Jack. When you say no to that shit, you're keeping your own self-respect, self-esteem, and everything like that. Being repetitive, but yeah, you can say that. Yeah, you can say that I'm in a video being repetitive, but you can be repetitive till you're blue in the face and it just doesn't sink in with people. But yet you're repetitive anyway, you know what I mean? And yet you're repetitive because you're so proud of it, you know what I mean? And you know it's aggravating somebody, you know what I mean? But yeah, knowing that your own walking around with your head high and a cocky look on your face and everything else, and you're not pandering or kissing their ass, even though you don't even say two words to them, they're triggered. Just like in them memes you got on social media, they're looking at your posts like this or whatever, you know, whatever face, some dude or chick. It's the same thing out in the world. If you've got a certain bunch of people like that, you know, somebody out there is looking at you with dirty ass looks, looking at you like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's about having your own personal sense of self-esteem, and they want to outlaw that. The far left wants to outlaw your own empowerment, your own self-esteem, and your own sense of sovereignty, because they want everybody to be the same. Yeah, you don't want to outshine anybody. You don't want to walk around too happy. It hurts somebody's feelings. The solution is to get the government to enforce some kind of law they want to create, you know, which is totally delusional and insane. But yet you have some people in government actually giving these people a voice. They said judging, and these judges giving people permission, giving people the permission, saying it's okay to be like this. And then it's whatever people want to be what they want to be. But who in the hell does any judge that was bribed or whatever hell in some Supreme Court think? Who the hell do they think they are to make some kind of ruling and tell you how you're supposed to feel about somebody else, and how to pander somebody else's bullshit? It's just not going to happen.